Hello, social media friends. I'm Viridiana Marquez with DRB Media Communications Digital News, and Danny Barrera has the story.
Author Charles H. Norman III held a book signing event at the Odessa Chamber of Commerce of his new book, Road to Reconciliation and Beyond. The book is in honor of the internationally known 60s musical doo-wop group, The Velvets. The vocal group was formed by a teacher and several students at Blackshear Junior High School, now known as Blackshear Magnet Elementary School, located at East Murphy and South Dixie Boulevard in South Odessa.
I do write short stories, and I thought, well, goodness, I'd sure like to write a short story about this group when I found out that two of the guys of the five were still alive. And so I did some research, called some folks here in Odessa, and found out that Mark Prince, the bass singer of the Velvets, was still alive. He was 78 at the time and lived in Fort Worth, and I live south of there. So I thought that would be a great link to go and find out about the history of the Velvets and how they came about and what happened to them.
In late June of 2022, a celebration of the Velvets called The Velvets Endeavor was held on the original Blackshear High School stage in conjunction with the Juneteenth parade and fair.
This memory book is something I compiled over the last several months of our basic endeavor that we did. And of course we had a myriad of people that contributed financially as well as time and talents to put on a program of unity for this town. Because when I was growing up, I probably went to the south side 2 or 3 times. Just didn't go over there. They had their lives, we had our lives. It wasn't necessarily a negative thing, except that they just weren't recognized like they probably should have, and especially even when they came across to our side of town. But they are now, and that's the wonderful thing about it. And that was the story of Mark Prince, the guy that I got to know. He was the bass singer for the group. He was instrumental in showing me how even though there was discrimination and segregation, all that, how that can be forgiven and accepted and moving on, and he and I became very close as brothers.
Gilbert Vasquez, former educator at Ector County Independent School District, was a young teen living in Odessa when he first heard the music of the Velvets.
Later on into my mid-teenage years, I remember hearing some music that I had never heard before, and I really enjoyed the beat of that music. When I got into the school system, I met up with a gentleman named Walter Hunt, band director, I understand, at several schools in the district. I remember that Walter and I were talking about music, and I vaguely remember that he mentioned a local group of young men and a choir director at Blackshear, what I call Blackshear Junior High at that time, that had made some records. I'm ashamed to say that here I am, a local Odessan, and was not aware that this was one and the same group that Walter Hunt had brought to my attention and that I had listened to that music. So that's my connection to the Velvets.
Get your copy of Road to Reconciliation and Beyond in paperback or hardcover at Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or at JanCarrollPublishing.com. For DRB Media Communications Digital News, Danny Barrera.
Thank you for following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and our website, DRB Media Communications Digital News.tv. For DRB Media Communications Digital News, Viridiana Marquez.